What's going on, people? Welcome back back with another episode after a little break.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, man.
We're back in the stew.
Yeah, man. Myself, Lex.
Shubbz here.
You know what I'm saying? So, Shubbz, how have you been?
I've been good, man. So much has happened, bro.
Yeah?
So much has happened.
Like what?
Where do I start? I'm working for myself full time now again.
Congrats.
Yeah, decided to go all in. I've made a decision. I'm sticking by it.
How's that going?
It's going well, to be honest. Just making sure that I'm doing everything I can to not stay afloat, but to build systems that would help me grow as a business.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, building my team right, building my packages, my services, and also put myself out there. So, started the newsletter, like I said. Just staying consistent with that. Also making sure that I'm letting people know if you need any marketing services, I'm your guy, so on and so forth. So that's been going really well. And yeah, just making sure like right now the stage I'm in is just building case studies, showing proof of work, also building like my personal brand as well, so people can vouch for me once they've used my services or they've worked with me or I've helped them in any sense as well. So it's going well. What about you, bro? How's everything?
Yeah, been all right, man. Obviously just still working full time from home. And obviously because it's close to Christmas, we have like multiple deliveries, and it's like I'm basically been pulled across like 2 initiatives on my project, so I'm pretty much always busy. But obviously it's good experience and good exposure for me, because I'm getting exposed to people like senior level management, like bro, like man's telling people what to do. Do you know what I mean? Requesting updates and all that stuff. So it's good. I'm learning a lot. Obviously, what else has happened? Obviously, the skincare business is going good as well. So pretty much almost sold out. So this will be like the 3rd time now selling out.
No.
And I'm just gonna chill over Christmas, man.
Yeah.
I'll restock in Jan.
Yeah, I think that's so key as well. Like even me, like I've decided to give myself some days off during the Christmas period, like I would if I was working for a company. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like rest this year is really showed how important it is to rest, because life can be extremely draining in different areas. So you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and really making sure you're resting your body as well.
And that's the thing, like because you've all been working from home, essentially you end up doing more hours because you don't really take breaks and stuff. Yeah. But we had a discussion on our project, and we just concluded, said, look, if you need to take a break, just take a break. If you need to go for a walk. So, right, there's times I'm booking out an hour and I'm just lying down. Do you know what I'm saying? Just having that hour, just doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? I think it's very important. Obviously, working from home. Like some people are literally working in the same place that they chill in, same place that they sleep in. So, you know, it can mess someone up mentally, so to speak. What else? Obviously, got involved in property.
Nice.
So went through. Both of them went through.
So could you break it down? What happened?
Yeah. So basically, what I'd done. So there's 2 properties, right, that I'm involved in. One which I bought. So this one is I can't find words. It's buy to rent. Okay. Yeah, buy to rent. So obviously, buy to rent slightly different. Rather than putting 10% down, you have to put 25% down. Obviously, with this one, you know, the numbers in terms of like ROI was pretty good. Do you know what I mean? So I've done that.
Is it in London, up north?
Up north, yeah. And then the second one is just what I've just put a proportion of my money in to invest.
With other people? Yeah,
with other people. And again, the return on investment is, let's just say, is way more than interest rates.
Oh no.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think there's no value in having your money just sitting in your account, just doing nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Put that money to work.
Exactly. I understand, obviously, it's risky. And obviously there's this fallacy that you know, the property market's never going to crash, and I haven't subscribed to that fallacy at all. Obviously, studying it as well, but I think what people need to understand is that there's booms and busts, and obviously there's right times to buy. Do you know what I mean? Even if you look back at even if you look at like residential properties, right? So now it's gone from 10% to 15%, and obviously now it's gone back down to 10%. So essentially, it's cheaper for deposit depending on the value of the house. But there's so many different ways to make money in property. People make it so complicated. It's not at all. Like a couple YouTube videos.
Is that how you learn?
So YouTube, and also both my brother and my sister. So my brother, he's a property investor, or like part-time property investor. My sister, she recently launched her rent-to-rent company called Capital Elite. So basically, for those who don't know what rent-to-rent is, in short, if you have a property, someone will rent that property off you and then sublet that out to someone else. And obviously, it's just a chain. So the person they're renting it to will pay money to
subletting
it. To the subletter. Subletter will pay money to the landlord. So, and there's deal sourcing. Like there's so many different avenues when it comes to property. Obviously, there are like qualifications you need to take and courses you need to do and stuff like that. And even deal sourcing. Like deal sourcing is something that I want to get into later on down the line. So like I've just been really looking at. I've been looking at properties online. And obviously just doing my own analysis, but I've been trying to get into those certain circles, landlords, developers, because like you can find a good deal online, but sometimes the numbers might just make more sense if you cut out the middleman. So the middleman being the estate agent and just going straight to the developer. Do you know what I mean? So in that respect, that's what I've done.
It's good, man. It's good to hear you've been busy, bro.
Yeah, man.
And so even like with this whole year, just seeing how so much has happened throughout this whole year. Looking back, would you say you've had a good year?
Good year. Has it been a good year? Yeah. I'll say it has been a good year. I've managed to achieve 3 things on my 2020 goal list. So I'd say that's a good year, because some people don't even achieve 1. So what about yourself?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think a lot of good has happened this year, but also a lot of bad. And
that's what I mean. Like if I'm being selfish for myself, I'll say it's been a good year. But if I'm just taking everything in, it probably hasn't.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
I am super grateful just to see the end of the year.
100%. 100%.
Like even looking back at the goals I made and stuff like that, just seeing the end of the year and just being in the position I am now.
100%.
That's good enough for me, if you know what I mean. And like that's kind of funny enough. It's kind of made me think whether like a lot of my goals are vanity or they're actually my goals. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
In a sense of who am I setting these goals for, myself or for others? Do you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you live up to certain standards made by, for example, social media or those around you, but what is really important to you when it comes to setting goals? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing, right? So even in terms of like buying a house, I started asking myself, why do I want to buy a house? Is it to say I got a house before 24, 25? Or is it to say like, okay, I have this income coming in? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of made me question a lot of things, question what's really important to me and my reason and my intention behind things as well, if you know what I mean.
Do you know, I was actually having that conversation on Clubhouse, funny enough, with a bunch of people. And social media, they push the rhetoric that by 25 you need to have a house, X, Y, and Z. But Like, bruv, owning a house to live in is a cash loss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a cash loss. And a friend of mine, Kossi, he's a surveyor. He was saying, like, if you look at, I think it's Eastern Europe, a lot of them are renting. Do you know what I mean? And if you buy a house to live in, like, there's no real cash flow in it.
Mm-hmm.
You're just paying a mortgage. Do you know what I mean? And essentially, you get a huge loan to pay back, and you just work to pay back that loan.
Do you know what the thing is? It's as simple as this, right? Life is relative. It's very, it's not black and white. There's nuances, there's different perspectives. And once you have that self-identity, it just makes it much easier. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't add external pressures to yourself just because of what society says or what people say. Because even comes down to like the age thing as well. Oh, by 30 or 25, you must be here, you must be there. But who actually, why do you have to be there? Do you know what I'm saying? There's different things that matter to different people.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying?
And people cap on social media, man. People put their best foot forward. Some of them might just have milk and water in their fridge, do you know what I'm saying? But just on that note of property, yeah. So what I was thinking, and I was having this discussion with my boy, like I think it was last year, is basically not buying in London at all. So you buy outside London, like you buy investment properties outside London, and then you just rent in London. Do you know what I mean? That way you can live in a decent house. Obviously, pay a rent that doesn't really equate to as much of a mortgage, but you're getting paid from the other properties. Do you know what I mean? But I think we need to unsubscribe from this rhetoric that you gotta be 25 and or by 30 you have to own a place, blah blah blah. Like you run your own race, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't compare.
That. What would you say is the biggest lesson you learned this year?
The biggest lesson. Knowledge is power. And money makes money.
Expand.
So when you have knowledge, you can make better, more well-informed decisions. You can advise people accordingly. So that's on that. All right, and then once you have that knowledge, no one can take that out from your head. Do you know what I mean? And when I say money is money, so I remember I think I was on Clubhouse, and someone said, "Yeah, time is money." But a couple years ago, when I was in like secondary school, my brother mentioned to me that money is money. Time isn't money. Do you know what I'm saying? Because even if you think about an entrepreneur, yeah. So what's that book? So I always refer to the E-Myth Revisited, right? He basically says that there's three types of people within a business: the entrepreneur, technician, and the manager. The entrepreneur focuses on the strategic direction of the business, right? So he frees up his time so he can make more money. Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously, if you shoot it back to an investor invest their money to grow their money over time. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's basically what I mean.
So how did you come to learning that lesson?
How did I do that? Invest into crypto and invest into property. So when I saw the figures, I was like, okay, cool, raw. That's actually pretty good. Even in crypto, like there's one particular coin that surged. When I saw it, I was like, raw.
What coin?
There's two coins that I'm involved in it. But the more prominent one is called XRP. Yeah. And it's basically owned by a company called Ripple. And basically what it's for liquidity cash management. So in short, like if you want to send money to an embargo country, yeah, you'll basically use the Ripple network to convert from pounds into XRP, send it. Once it gets to the other end, it will convert from XRP to their local currency. Yeah, basically. So what it aims to do is cut down the lag time of Swift payments. So Swift payments is usually about 3 to 5 working days. Do you know what I mean? So you see when you get a refund bank, say, basically cut that time down to seconds. Do you know what I mean?
I started investing this year, actually. Investing into XRP because you told me to, actually.
Yeah.
But one thing I learned, so this is not my biggest lesson of the year, but one thing I learned is that I should always do my research and
100%.
not do FOMO investments.
100%.
Like I remember, so everyone was talking about, say, for example, ideonomics, right? I saw someone post it and say,
"Oh, is that guy on Twitter, innit?"
I think so. Guy? Yeah, made about saw like it rise and his portfolio was, he saw about 10K from like a couple bag investment. Yeah. So I'm like, like this means it's undervalued. Let me tap into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so it was looking good for a second,
yeah,
and then it's coming all the way down. But it just showed me that like I need a clear strategy when it comes to investing. I need to know what type of stocks I'm investing into, what they're about, what they do, finding out ways of if they're undervalued and stuff like that, and really do my real research before just putting money into it. Because at the end of the day, I'm still, if I'm losing money, it's actually me giving away money, right? And the rule of the game is not to lose money, but to make your money work for you. Yeah. So just really moving away from the FOMO investments and just trying to put money into things just so I can say I'm investing. Instead, be patient with myself. Yeah. Just make sure I'm learning and finding out my strategies. Yeah. And then working on that strategy as well. So that's one thing I learned.
And I think also the crypto market, right? Obviously, you have the main player, Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it does very, very strong. But also some of like altcoins, right? They're very volatile. Mm-hmm. Very volatile. Like, and like some of them just you only need some just to move a little bit for you to make your money. Mm-hmm. So for example, there's something called Band. What else is there? Band, Tether, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot. Like there's so many coins out there, but
and where is this on Coinbase or?
Yeah, so so you can find a lot of them on Coinbase, but then there's so many exchanges. Like I don't just use Coinbase. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's like one called Binance.
Yeah, I know Binance. Do you know what I mean? Coin as well.
But then, like YouTube, man. Mm-hmm. That's where I learned a lot of my information. Yeah, watching YouTube, reading white papers issued from companies. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you got to be willing to actually put your time into gain your information, and that's what I'm saying. Knowledge is power. Because I've gained the information, I was able to make a sound decision. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just thinking of my biggest lesson. I guess my biggest lesson is that you have to be adaptable. Mm-hmm. And change is the only constant. You just need to get used to changes. Because that's
sorry to cut you. When you say adaptable, do you mean as a person or within as an entrepreneur?
Both. As a person, situations happen in which you can't let it win. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You need to be able to just move with the flow. You can't really sulk too much. Mm-hmm. Know how to deal with change. Know how to deal, like for example, even me, not to get deep, but deal with losing people, losing money, losing opportunities. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's what's happened this year. Do you know what I mean? So being able to kind of deal with change and be able to kind of have a way in which I can deal with it. Yeah. And then as an entrepreneur as well, finding opportunities. So like for me as a digital marketing specialist, people going into more digital marketing rather than physical or traditional marketing because shops are closing. Yeah. Everyone's online now. Yeah. It's kind of me, saying, I need to double down. I need to make sure I'm putting my work out there, letting people know what I do so I'm able to like milk it while I can, you know what I'm saying? And
so since doing that, putting yourself out there and even launching a newsletter, what's the response from people?
First, I just want to say, listen, I say all the time, I'm an introvert. I am not naturally, I'm confident, but I'm not outspoken. I'm not the most talkative in the dance or in a group, do you know what I'm saying? But I just do what scares me, do you know what I'm saying? And I'm used to it, so I become much more confident. Like you can't, and I say all the time, like you can't read about push-ups, right? There's no motivational quotes to tell you to do a push-up. You just have to do it. Like a lot of the time, we know what we need to do, but we always avoid it. You know what you need to do to get to A and B, but we just avoid it by giving ourselves excuses. Like I was speaking to my friend the other day saying, you need to start a newsletter because you like to write. And they're like, I can't commit to it. I'm like, I'm doing a newsletter every week. Like, I'm making time for it. I'm committing to it. There's 1,000 things to do, but I know I've set myself to do one newsletter a week, so I'm doing it. So with me putting myself out there, it just helped me get more exposure, more clients, also just more confidence in myself. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, the imposter syndrome kicks in because like you're like, oh, am I actually this guy? But the more you do it, like I said, you can't read about push-ups. The more you do it, the more you know, like your muscle. Do you know what I'm saying? You're building that muscle, and it's like I know my stuff. This is what I do. This is who I am, because you're backing it with your consistency, with your work ethic, and also with your results as well. Do you know what I'm saying? That's definitely been a result. And I say to everyone, like I made a commitment at the beginning of this year to be my best self, right? And that meant me stepping out my comfort zone. And I'm sure last year we were saying the same thing, like how me stepping out my comfort zone helped me get to where I am. And like the more you do it, the more confident you are. Like even the other day, right, me pitching to Steven to come on a podcast, like that's a multi-millionaire. What am I doing pitching to him? But if you don't ask, you don't get. And that's one thing I learned with opportunities. If you don't ask, you don't get. No one's going to feed you with your mouth closed. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. That's how people are winning the game, right? People are asking for it. People are telling people what they do. Like, I don't know why. I know why. At first, like I said, I've been doing digital marketing for about 2 years. When I started the podcast, I don't know why I didn't want to say to people I had an agency. There's just so many things in your head that hold you back. But you just have to go all in, man. Like, remember when I was talking about burning the boats, right? The Roman principle of like, when you go to war, you burn your boats. So knowing that you're either dead in battle or you win battle. That's just how it is. That's just how you have to see it. Like, there's no turning back. You're all in. And regardless of where it is, like even now, Clubhouse, I'm now in a weekly room for Clubhouse for marketing, right? And these are not things I do naturally, but I was speaking to someone and she's like, listen, there's always pioneers in the game, right? There was pioneers doing MySpace, doing Twitter, doing Instagram. And these are the people with like 100K followers now and so forth. I'm not even to watch followers, but like me just taking advantage of the app and me hosting a room and me being part of weekly rooms, I'm now seeing the kind of results. And if I'm consistent with it and if I buy into it rather than, oh, let me just stay here and just be in the audience, like you have to take control. Do you know what I'm saying? And seeing how that has led to me having new clients. Like I got a client from Clubhouse. Do you know what I'm saying? For a good project. So it's like me stepping out of my comfort zone, me doing things that make me uncomfortable. Like, listen, I have 1,000 excuses in my head why I don't want to do Clubhouse. Oh, my Wi-Fi. Oh, my, do you know what I mean? I'll be tired. Oh, I got things to do. Oh, you just have to do it. Do you know what I'm saying? And me doing that just helps me to where I am this year. And I'm super excited for the next year because I know I'm even going to take myself that step further and even do more things that scare me. Maybe that could be public speaking in front of big audiences and stuff like that, just because I know how much growth happens outside the comfort zone.
Word. I got a question. What is the biggest challenge you faced this year?
The biggest challenge I faced this year?
Let me rephrase it. What's the biggest challenge you've encountered? And was you able to overcome it?
So just on a business level, the biggest challenge I encountered was, so I have this client, it's a big organization, and this happens all the time. When I get a big organization, like back then I would even do it for free just so I can leverage their name. But just knowing what I bring to the table, and this is what it is, right? And this is one thing I learned. You got to be able to put your best foot forward. You got to be able to believe in yourself. So what happened was, so we got this client. I was like, how the hell did this happen? Then we're now on the onboarding process. So we're saying our prices. Firstly, I'm like, there's no way I'm charging these guys like 4 or 5 figures for this project. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, like, this is big money. Like, what are they going to say? So anyways, I'm like, saying, because luckily I'm working with my friend who kind of has more skin in the game. So he's always like, listen, this is pennies. Like, think of how much they're making and think of how much you're charging, right? Don't be scared. So anyways, we send the invoice. They're like, that's fine. So it's like, okay, right. So that was also my first obstacle, me pitching for a price that I'm comfortable with. But you just have to view it as like they're a big company. They clearly have budget. So don't even be afraid of your little full figs. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, now so I crossed that bridge. And next is like, okay, the deposit. So they come back saying, oh, like, we only do 25% deposit while I'm asking for money up front. Just because of the service I offer, I can't really take a 25% deposit because I'm doing all the work, and then you can like piss off with all the work I've done and say, I'm not going to pay you back. So once again, I'm like, so I'm saying to my partner, like, let's just do it. Like 25%, it's still a good name. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, listen, we gotta have our terms and they have their terms, but we gotta meet in the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, cool. We'll follow you. We'll fight for it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've just been going back and forth with that organization, just to have them on board as a client, just due to the fact that knowing my leverage, knowing what I bring to the table and how they need our services, and also knowing that, okay, cool, they're not comfortable with paying money up front, but having to find a middle ground where every party is happy or every party is okay. There's some dissatisfaction because you have to cross out some things, but knowing that everyone's okay. So I think that's one thing that has been a biggest challenge. And this happened, something similar has happened in another project, right? Where I'm trying to I'm asking for something in my terms, and they're saying no. But it's kind of knowing. Usually, I just like I don't like confrontation, right? I don't even like arguing. I don't like anything that is kind of like, oh no, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But knowing where to stand my ground, where to put my foot down, knowing how to also negotiate as well, make sure I'm not getting burnt. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm making sure I'm protecting my back, making sure that I'm happy with the work I'm doing. Because last year, bro, I was just doing so much work here. And it's like, why am I even doing this? I'm not even getting paid how much I want to, or I'm not even getting anything that I want out of this. Do you know what I'm saying? So making sure like when it comes to projects, I'm putting my foot down, even if that means I'm missing out on the deal or missing out on the project. Just knowing that I'm not doing no work that I'm not happy with. Because if I'm not happy with it, I'll not see it all the way through, or I'll just be burning myself out. And that's not the type of work I'm trying to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm doing kind of work on my own terms, so I should make sure that I'm not working for no one. So like, if I'm getting stressed, yeah, fair enough, from clients, but I make these decisions who I work for and who I don't work with. Do you know what I'm saying? So making sure that's always in my favor, and I'm not hating the stuff I do, because then it becomes a job. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of been my biggest challenge, and I was saying it earlier to my friend on the phone, like, you just have to get used to these things. Like, me not being confrontational, like, it's just a part of life. Like, there's gonna be disagreements. Not everyone's gonna see eye to eye, but you gotta make sure that you kind of look after your needs and terms as well.
Word.
What would you say your biggest challenges?
Mine was personal. So it was actually having the confidence to undergo therapy.
I remember when I was saying start.
Yeah. So I've done it for a bit. It helped.
So what skills would you say you acquired this year?
Stakeholder management being a key one. So both within the workplace and also outside the workplace. So obviously,
what does stakeholder management mean?
So on a project or on an initiative, you have stakeholders. So stakeholders are people who make decisions for the project, or they make decisions on particular things to push things through. Do you know what I mean? Or they can give a direction or a steer, right? But they have their own work, and 9 times out of 10, they'll always prioritize their own stuff over yours. Like, they're doing their work as a side of desk, but you have to navigate them in a way to get buy-in from them, so you can push whatever you're working through.
Can you break this down into normal everyday life stuff?
Okay, it's basically the ability to manage different types of people.
Okay.
So adapting communication style, adapting demeanor, because like, depending on who I'm talking to, sometimes I have to be a bit more firm, or there's times I have to be a bit more relaxed. Yeah, and I've learned patience as well. And even like dealing with one of my suppliers for the skincare stuff. Like, there's times I just want to bang out on them because they're just moving nuts, taking long to respond to me. But obviously, it's then also, I've learned to display and exercise empathy. Yeah. So
I think that's one thing that 2020 has really shown. Yeah. That a lot of people don't know how to display or empathize with others. Like, and empathy just is like, it's not even like, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy, right? Yeah. Empathy is just understanding one's pain and understanding that, oh, like, this is an inconvenience for them, or this is something they're going through, and understanding that, like even with the whole, like, so for example, just that the whole Black Lives Matter movement, right? Yeah. There was people who empathize, knowing that, okay, Black people go through this pain, whereas people are seeing it as like, oh, like, everyone goes through it. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's being able to understand, like, people are going through different stuff and being, for example, understanding, accommodating, or even just patient with that as well. So I think it's so good that you learnt that skill as well this year.
Because like I sent a strong worded email to them, and in short, it basically said that, look, like, I don't understand why I'm having such delays when I've submitted what I need to submit a long time ago. Then obviously, the email that I received was like, okay, we're quite understaffed at the moment. It's only 2 people. The woman that emailed me says she's been working from home part-time, taking care of her children as well. And obviously, I didn't know that. Do you know what I mean? So obviously, when responding, I was like, oh my God, like I'm so sorry. You know, I didn't understand X, Y, and Z. So and being more patient.
That's the thing. Like we say it all the time, like everyone's got their own battles, their own challenges that they're going through. Like, don't try and make someone's life 10 times harder than it already is. So no, I'm with you on that one.
I'll say those are the top 2, to be honest. What about yourself?
Funny enough, I would say market myself in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for example, so obviously I did Converse earlier on this year. And usually I wouldn't. So I'd done the marketing video for Converse for the organization that came through it, but also putting that out for myself as well, so people could know this is what I've been doing, this is my story and stuff like that. Like I said earlier, like I feel natural, and I say it to my boys all the time, like naturally, where as guys and just growing up, we tend to, it's always the stay silent, come up, stay silent and grind, and then come up, or like just keep things to yourself and stuff like that. Like, don't show no one what you're doing. But really and truly, like, the reason why people are winning this game is because they brand themselves, they market themselves, they put themselves forward. So just putting those videos out on my personal pages, my LinkedIn, my Twitters, letting people know this is what I'm doing. Also tweeting stuff I'm doing, writing as well as a form of marketing, and that's also a skill that I'm learning, because I'm actually not the best writer, but the more I do it, the more I get comfortable, the more I know how to communicate through writing and stuff like that. And then I also feel like another skill I learned was I think just negotiating and sales as well. So sales and marketing is different, but for example, knowing how to get clients, knowing how to sell to people without being, and this is the thing, like when you hear sales, and we spoke about this with Simon, people hear a nasty word, but sales is just like letting people know what you do and exchanging your value, right? So it's a transaction. So my value is my services and the work I do, and then if they have a pain point and I'm offering them a solution, right? So it's being able to propose my solution to them as something that is beneficial and valuable to them, right? And just being able to kind of do that in a seamless way is something that's helped me. But even now, I'm, like you said, School of YouTube, I'm learning how to send cold emails out to potential clients, because I've got a long list of businesses that I do want to work for and do marketing for. So it's now learning how to sell through emails, then having them on a phone or having them through a pitch or Zoom call, whatever, then onboarding as well. So that's one thing I'm learning, and I'm super happy to be in this journey once again, because like over the years you learn so much, and like I said, you can't read about doing push-ups. Like, you can't read about these things. You can't read. You have to practice it. You have to do it. You have to have skin in the game to acquire these skills and to build that muscle. So that's definitely one thing I've learned as well.
Word. But bro, what can the listeners expect from the Hustlesmart?
A lot, to be honest. So we've got the Hustlesmart productivity planner coming out, out now for pre-order actually.
That's right.
That'll be out for delivery as soon as we enter the new year, just due to COVID, Christmas period. You know, even I ordered some shoes earlier on, and they're saying you can't get it before Christmas. I ordered it last week. So like, people who have pre-ordered, please bear with us, because you know, Christmas period, the mails is all mad and everything. So we're gonna get that out to people straight away. A lot of thought has gone into that planner. We listen to you guys, to the pains we have and to the pains our listeners have, and making sure we've put a bundle or a package to help them with their productivity, with setting goals, assessing your goals, reviewing your goals, reviewing your week, reflecting on yourself, reflecting on your progress. So I'm super excited for people to see it, and we've put some images of what the planners are already, and the response has been overwhelming and really heartwarming as well. So I'm super happy for that. And then 2021 is just more of what we're doing, giving out value, but in different ways now. So the masterclasses, the workshops, the webinars, the events, the socials, helping our listeners have more exposure for their businesses and stuff like that. So I'm just super excited for what we have going on, bro. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a really good period. So I'm really happy for all our listeners this year being part of us in the journey. We marked a year, 1 year in podcasting this year as well. And even seen our Spotify
the numbers,
stats
innit?
well.
What was it? 63rd
in business.
In the business. I can't lie. I don't check numbers, innit?
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was taken back. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's humbling.
Yeah, so really grateful for our listeners and everyone that's been supporting
and
us.
That's in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah, and it's not far from top 50. So 2021 looking for top 25. 50, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, really grateful for that. Man. What about you, bro? Is there anything I missed out?
Nah, just to echo what you're saying. Just expect masterclasses, and I think obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed that we come out of this COVID period, we can actually put together a social for, even if it's a networking event. Do you know what I mean? Just for young, like-minded people, even entrepreneurs, or even if you work, just come together and just share knowledge. Do you know what I'm saying? On the masterclass standpoint, I know Shubbz has been on to me about doing like a finance one, budgeting one, and a credit card one. So now that I got time off, I'm actually gonna get some time and get cracking on it 100%.
Nice. On a lighter note, actually, if you were to give 2020 a movie title, what would it be?
2020 a movie title.
It doesn't have to be an actual movie.
Yeah. Ooh.
I asked that question without thinking my answer.
A Step into the Unknown.
I like that.
Sounds like a horror.
Sounds like a horror, innit?
Yeah.
Mine would probably be something like Beauty in a Disaster or some shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Something creative like that by Spike Lee or Steven Spielberg or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
But no, that's cool. Also.
Oh no, sorry. Let me change it. Beauty in the Storm.
Beauty in the Storm. I'm gonna go with that one as well. Yeah. Kind of similar to mine, Beauty in a Disaster, but we'll go with it. Yeah. Co-signed. Doesn't matter. Word. Also, we've got the reflection planners, right?
Yeah.
So that's coming out with the pre-orders as well for the book.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be able to kind of review their year to see the same questions. We've got a few questions to help you kind of just look back at your year, because it's so easy to forget kind of what you've accomplished this year, what you've done. Like the fun moments of 2020, even though a lot has happened, there's still been some good. Also learning what skills you've learned, looking back at how far you've come, and just giving yourself a pat on the back for being able to see the end of the year. So that's available on our website now, which is live, hustlesmart.co.uk. Right. You can check us out there. You can also
Hustlesmart UK.
No, hustlesmart.co.uk. We've got the whole domain. Big business. But so you can check us out there. The reflection planner will be up shortly. If you've pre-ordered the planner, that will go directly to your emails as well. So just check us out there. And Alex, any housekeeping? Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. Again, feel free to send us a DM, send us an email. We have received a couple of emails. So we will get back to everyone. And also, just keep giving us feedback, giving us reviews on Apple Podcasts, DMing us, letting us know what topics you'd like us to cover, what more you want from us as well. We've got some big guests coming on next year. Yeah, I've been shooting my shot, and Alex has been making some things happen as well. So really looking forward to our next level of guests and the knowledge and gems they're gonna drop as well. So that'll be real fun. But as always, please like, share, subscribe. Right. Catch us on all the streaming platforms, YouTube, everything. That's it. And remember, focus on things that move the needle. Bow.